Greetings, fellow Cataniacs. I am the one and only David of David's, and if you're watching this video, you and I have something in common. We both love Catan.
I love
Catan. Today, we'll be talking about the Cities and Knights expansion. Whether you've played Cities and Knights or not, I believe that this tier list will help you to understand which progress cards are best and how to best use them. I'll begin with a 3-person Cities and Knights tier list, and then I'll also do a 4-person version. So stick around to find out which cards get better or worse. So without any further ado, let me introduce you to David's objectively correct, amazing, and awesome Cities and Knights progress card tier list. First, and certainly worst, we have Intrigue. I spit on you, Intrigue! Intrigue is a terrible card. Not only does it do something that your knights can already do for the cost of 1 wheat, but it's genuinely almost impossible to use. I have to build roads that go to places I don't want to go just for the chance to play Intrigue. And in the off chance that I actually do get to play it, it's not really worth the payoff. All you do is move somebody's knight. You don't even deactivate it. It just moves. That's the card. Pray to God Almighty that you never draw Intrigue. F tier. Next up, we have Engineer. There is only one Engineer card. This makes it unique because it is the only Cities and Knights progress card of which there is only one. So Engineer is very rare. But it's not very good. It lets you build 1 city wall, which is equivalent to 2 pieces of clay, which is fine. But the city walls don't do that much for you in the grand scheme of Cities and Knights, so I'm afraid it's going to have to go in D tier. Moving on to Diplomat. Whenever I draw Diplomat, my first thought is, well, at least I didn't draw Intrigue. Diplomat lets you remove exactly 1 open road. Its uses are extremely limited.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you here. Given your track record, your options are going to be extremely limited.
Sometimes it lets you steal longest road, which can be very cool if you do it right. But, in general, the most useful thing that it can do is let you pick up someone else's road off the board, say, "Get this road out of here," and then throw it back at them. That's the best thing you can do with Diplomat. D tier. We continue with Commercial Harbor. This card is not that great. In a 3-person game, you can use it to get a maximum of 2 commodity cards, and the card forces you to give away 2 resource cards in order to get them. Plus, your opponents get to decide which commodity card they give you if they have more than 1 type. So basically it just forces other players to trade with you. The card can be useful in the right situation, but that situation does not come up often enough to make it a good card. D tier. Merchant Fleet. It's perfect for when you want a worse version of the Merchant card. No, seriously, Merchant Fleet is literally just a worse version of the Merchant card. It is nice to get to trade resources at a 2-to-1 rate for 1 turn, but whenever you play it, you'll find yourself wishing you were playing Merchant instead, so you could maybe keep the 2-to-1 trade going for another turn or 2. Still, it can be fortuitous in the right moment. C tier. Saboteur. This card should have a big troll face on it, because the only thing it does is troll your opponents. This card forces anyone who is tied with you or ahead of you in victory points to discard half of their hand. So it's a nice way to slow down your rivals, but it does not help you in any way whatsoever. For that reason, it goes in C tier. Coming around the bend next, we have Trade Monopoly.
Monopoly mentioned. Monopoly mentioned. Go watch all of David's Monopoly videos right now. Click the links to watch them and then come back here and finish watching this video. Do it now.
Sorry, I don't know what that was. Anyway, Trade Monopoly. This card is basically a better version of Commercial Harbor. You get to take up to 2 commodity cards, and you don't have to give any cards away to do it. I, for one, love getting cards without having to give away cards to get them. For that reason, it's obviously going to be rated better than Commercial Harbor. However, it's still not a great card, because sometimes you could use it and get 1 or even 0 commodity cards. So it's going in B tier. Merchant, the fun and significantly more chill counterpart to the Robber. The Merchant is honestly just a chill little guy. The nice thing about the Merchant is that he lets you keep that 2-to-1 trade for longer than just 1 turn. However, there are 6 Merchant cards, so it makes it a little hard for me to rate Merchant very high on the tier list. But it's a nice card, it's a helpful card, and oftentimes the card can actually hurt your opponents at the same time it helps you, because you end up taking the Merchant away from your opponent's hex when you put it on your own. For those reasons, it will go in B tier. Back in the green deck again. Next up, we have Crane. Crane is a very solid card. It allows you to build a city improvement using 1 less commodity than you would otherwise have to. Crane becomes a little less useful as the game goes on, but an early game Crane can be a beautiful thing. Sometimes you just need that next tier of city improvement, and when you do, Crane is there for you. B tier. Moving on, we have Warlord. This card lets you activate every knight you have on the board for free. You can use this card to activate 2, 3, 4, technically up to 6 total knights at once. When you need Warlord, it is very nice to have it. And being able to activate 4 knights at once without using a single wheat is a good feeling. Whew! B tier. Well. If it isn't the green deck again. Smith is great. It reminds me of Dark Souls 3.
Prithee, be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
It can be worth up to 4 total resource cards, and you should always use it to promote 2 knights at once if you can. Time it right, and you can use Smith to upgrade both your knights right before the Barbarian shows up, which can snag a quick victory point. The fact that you can only promote 2 knights total keeps this card out of a higher tier, but it's still very good. B tier. If it isn't Wedding. This card lets you take 2 cards from every player with more victory points than you. If you need to make a comeback, and you have the least amount of victory points, this card can be very nice. Now, you don't get to choose which 2 cards you get, but it's hard to argue with up to 4 free cards. A tier. Next on the agenda, we're going to build up to road building. Huh? You see what I did there? I'm sorry. This is one of the only cards to survive completely unchanged from the original Catan base development card deck. And there's a reason why. Road building is just a good card. It's good for helping you get longest road. It's good if you need more roads to be able to build settlements. It's worth 4 resource cards, and generally it can be a lifesaver. A tier. Master Merchant. This card can be very useful. You get to pick 1 player, look at their entire hand of resource cards, and take 2 of them. You get to pick which 2 cards, which is good. You don't get to take commodities, which is bad. But when you know the other player has the cards you need, this card comes in clutch. Also, the picture on the front of it reminds me of this guy.
I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little, richer.
So, A tier. Irrigation. As the expansion is called Cities and Knights, it really isn't very surprising that there's a card that helps you build cities. This card can be worth between 2 and 8 wheat, depending on how many wheat fields you're adjacent to. And if you happen to get 2 irrigations, whew, look out world. it's wheat time. This card is basically always useful. A tier. Mining! I know. Who would have thought that the mining card would be near the irrigation card? It's the craziest thing. But it does something very similar, so I think it makes sense. Although mining can only get you a maximum of 6 stone, I find it to be a slightly better card. Mostly because stone is usually rarer than wheat in cities and knights. Depending on the board though, it can be just as useful or even a little less useful than irrigation, which is why I have these two cards ranked back to back. But again, like irrigation, mining is a good card, and it is very rare for it to not be useful. Hup! A tier. Coming up next, we have the Bishop. Just like in chess, the Bishop is very good. Oh, by the way, speaking of chess, you should totally check out my chess video where I solve a puzzle that was painted on my wall. Click it. Click it now. This card lets you move the robber and take a card from every person who has a settlement or city adjacent to the hex you move the robber to. This card is really nice. You can unblock your resources, block both of your opponent's resources, and take one card from each of them all at the same time. I am always happy when I draw a Bishop. Thank you, Bishop. Very cool. A tier. Medicine. Oh, what a card. You can use medicine to build a city using 2 stone and 1 wheat. Oh yes. Amazing. Fantastic. Now I know, 1 stone and 1 wheat doesn't sound like that much, but when you need a city, when the barbarians have just showed up and destroyed the only city you have on the board, and you pull a medicine card, it is the greatest feeling in the world. You can pull yourself back into games that you were falling out of contention in using just 1 medicine card. Medicine will go in S tier. Resource Monopoly.
Monopoly mentioned.
No.
Monopoly mentioned.
No. I already made that joke. Sorry about that. Resource Monopoly. This is a slightly nerfed version of the original Monopoly card from base Catan's dev card deck. Resource Monopoly lets you take up to 2 of one type of resource from each player. So it maxes out in a 3-person game at 4 possible cards. However, when you know you're going to get 4 of that type of card, and you really need that type of card, Resource Monopoly is exactly what you want. And there's 4 of them, so your odds of drawing them from the deck are actually pretty good. Resource Monopoly goes in S tier. Deserter. This card is so good. You basically just steal someone's knight. That's what Deserter does. After making them get rid of their knight and replacing it with your own knight, Deserter can cause a shift in knight power of up to 6 points. That's a lot. And even if you only use it to replace a level 2 or level 1 knight, it's still a really good card that can shift the balance of power to the point that you can snag a victory point that was about to go to somebody else simply by using a Deserter on the right turn. Deserter will definitely go in S tier. Although these next 2 cards are technically separate cards in separate decks, they're the same card. It's a victory point. I'm not gonna explain it. They're victory points. You need victory points to win the game. They're great because, you need victory points. There's 1 in the green deck and 1 in the blue deck, so they're really rare. Also, RIP the yellow deck for not having even 1 victory point. Kinda messed up. S tier. Finally. SS tier. Let's begin with Spy. Spy is fantastic. You pick 1 opponent, you get to look at every progress card they have, and you get to take 1 of them. That's just ridiculous. You could take some amazing cards. And sometimes you can take cards that are massively game altering. Because Spy lets you pick another progress card, if you play it right, you can actually play 6 progress cards in 1 turn if you use a Spy on that turn. It's just an amazing card. There's 3 of them in the blue deck, and I love them. Spy goes in SS tier. Alchemist. I love Alchemist. Alchemist is a great card. Picture this. You have 12 cards in your hand, and your friend has just handed you the dice. You need a 9. You must have a 9. But you're terrified that you might roll a 7 and have to discard half of your cards. Well, have no fear. Alchemist is here. Using Alchemist, you get to just decide what you roll. That's perfect. If you use Alchemist correctly, you can give yourself a top tier turn. The only problem with Alchemist is that it is so good that if somebody uses Spy and sees that you have it, they will take it immediately. SS tier. Inventor. Inventor, my beloved. Inventor is, bar none, the greatest progress card in Cities and Knights. Inventor lets you reach into the metagame and play God for one glorious moment. Using Inventor to swap number tiles is power no man should have. You can destroy an opponent's game plan if you get an early Inventor. You can ruin everything they had going by swapping a 5 with an 11 or a 9 with a 3. Inventor is so good that it ends friendships. Inventor is so good that it ruins lives. Honestly, is broken even though you can't use it to trade 2s, 12s, 6s, and 8s. It's just that good of a card. And for those reasons, Inventor easily earns the spot of greatest Catan Cities and Knights progress card of all time. Fly high, Inventor. Fly high. SS tier. Now that you know my complete 3-person tier list, I'd like to take a moment to show you my 4-person tier list. Now, most of the cards aren't actually going to change, so we'll only be discussing cards that move tiers in the 4-person tier list. First up, we have Commercial Harbor. The difference between getting 2 commodities and getting 3 commodities can actually be pretty massive. That one extra commodity can mean the difference between a shining metropolis and a soul-crushing defeat. For that reason, in 4-person Cities and Knights, Commercial Harbor will move up from D tier to C tier. No surprises here, but the next card affected is Trade Monopoly. Okay, we're good.
Monopoly mentioned. Monopoly mentioned.
Sorry. All the things that I just said about Commercial Harbor also apply to Trade Monopoly. And getting 3 commodity cards in one turn can be a beautiful thing. So Trade Monopoly will move from B tier up to A tier. Next up, we have Master Merchant. This card is significantly better when you have a whole other player to choose from. The odds of getting the card you need go up, and your ability to select based on what people have been rolling is expanded as well. So for that reason, Master Merchant in 4-person Catan slides from A tier up to S tier. Speaking of more cards, oh wow, does Wedding get better in 4-person Catan? The difference between getting 4 cards and getting 6 cards? I mean, come on. It's amazing in 4-person Catan. 6 cards can completely change your game. 6 cards can build a city. 6 cards can buy 2 knights. 6 cards can solve the Israel-Iran conflict. Maybe not that, but drawing 6 cards is really good. In 4-person Cities and Knights, Wedding will go from A tier up to S tier. This next one might surprise you a little. It might shock you. It's so shocking, in fact, that I should probably build up to it. I'm sorry again. Road building. Although what road building doesn't technically change between 3 and 4-person Catan, I find that it's harder to try and compete for longest road in 4-person Cities and Knights. There's more settlements and cities on the board, and you have to try and stake your claim to where your longest road is going to run much earlier than in a 3-person game. For that reason, in 4-person Cities and Knights, road building is actually going to slide up to S tier. Finally, Resource Monopoly. No, I'm not going to do it 4 times, as funny as it would be. Being able to get up to 6 of one type of card can be game-changing, especially if you have a 2-to-1 trade for that type of card. Playing with 4 people buffs Resource Monopoly pretty significantly. And for that reason, it's going to slide from S tier right up to the very bottom of SS tier. So there you have it, my completed 3-person and 4-person Cities and Knights tier lists. Take a moment to view them. Bask in their glory. As a side ranking, I'll also give my thoughts on the 3 city improvement tracks. It should go without saying that the green track is the best. Not only does the green deck have the best cards, but the green track's special ability of letting you produce 1 resource anytime you don't produce on a roll is honestly ridiculous, and can massively help you win a game of Cities and Knights. The yellow and blue tracks are a lot harder to rank. The yellow track has a better ability with the 2-to-1 commodity trade, whereas the blue track just lets you promote strong knights to mighty knights. However, the blue deck has much better cards on the whole than the yellow deck does, so I think the two kind of balance each other out. Personally, I'd put the yellow track slightly above the blue track, but there isn't much separation between the two, and neither of those 2 tracks is anywhere near as good as the green track. And that will do it. Thank you all for watching my video. Feel free to go into the comments and let me know how much you loved my obviously perfect and inarguably correct Cities and Knights tier list. Until next time, I am the one and only David of David's, signing off.